Since my video earlier today was a response to a question about education and training, I thought I'd spend a little time talking about integral psychology. I lay claim to being an integral psychologist, but you won't see integral psychology on my doctoral diploma. You'll just see psychology. And so, what is an integral psychologist? Why is an integral psychologist talking about all these things that don't seem to have to do with traditional notions of psychology? Integral psychology is a term I first learned from Ken Wilber, who wrote a book called exactly that, Integral Psychology. I met Ken back in the late 90s and early 2000s and got involved with his Integral Institute and his Institute for Integral Medicine. And integral psychology called to me because Wilber's notion of integral psychology is that it takes into account the entirety of the being that we are. Now, if you know integral theory at all, you know that when Wilber talks about the entirety of it, he's talking very big. So it's not just your inner life, and it's not just your relational life in your family or among friends or your work, but it's all of that, plus it involves your relationship to, if you have a spiritual life, it's your relationship to your culture, to your community, it's the systems you have in place, it's the shared beliefs you have with your culture, however you define your culture, and on and on and on. It was the inclusiveness of integral psychology that attracted me. I have been unfamiliar with that many programs that train in all of these realms. And so over the course of the last 50 years, I've trained in all of these realms, but not in a single program. Being a lawyer taught me about the systems in which we live. Being involved in government and not-for-profits and for-profits has trained me in all of these systems. My healthcare consulting practice has brought me into contact with some of the largest healthcare organizations in the world. So I have a sense of people's embeddedness in that system. The work that I did at Shalom Mountain brought me into working with the body and how that relates to spirit, a connection I might not have drawn in my 20s, but did in my 40s and 50s and 60s, and on and on. And the training has come, therefore, from all sources. It comes from my reading of the news. It comes from my own practice. It comes from my own work with my own psychotherapist. It comes from every dimension of my life. And so when one asks, what is the training for an integral psychologist, I think most accurately say life. Life is the training for an integral psychologist. One must draw on the entire human experience in order to lay any claim to doing anything integral. So it's hard to answer the question, what is the formal training, other than to say, involve everything. Involve body, mind, emotions, spirit, the whole thing. Involve the whole thing. That's what integral psychology is, and that's what I aspire to do with my clients, my workshops, in these videos. The human experience is the subject of integral psychology. Be well.